Hello everyone, this is RC053 and I'm bringing you a really cool opportunity here. I'm bringing you a General Netherlands deck. Now this was just added today as of Thursday, May the 19th. Anyways, this is really cool. I feel like this is kind of a pay-to-win deck though. I really, have some issues with that just because it is so good. And at the same, it's so good, but you pay for it. This was a $6 DLC. You can find it on the Steam store. But anyways, let's not worry about that for now, and let's dive right in. First off, we have a Rover command unit, just 110 points. It's in quite a few other decks. But yeah, just cheap spammable. CV, you get 7 of those. Forward operating base, you get 1 of them. For trucks, we have these DAF YA Vracht, or the Vracht. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. But anyways, that's this truck. It carries 800 liters of supply, so that's not bad. And then we have the other Vracht, the AS352, which is the Puma. But they also have an interesting unit that no other country has, and that's a Huey supply unit. Now this would be really cool to use in, like, say, a Vietnam war game. Just because you would be able to then, bring in supplies with a Huey, just like in the Vietnam War. But anyways, that's a bit of talking about that. Here we have the AMX 13 VTT, I believe. The French have, but it's actually been converted also into a supply unit. So there's a lot of interesting stuff in here. Next, moving on to infantry. We have the Corps Mariner. And now, these are 95, which is from 1995, which is interesting. But they carry the C7 carbine. They've got good ground range, very high rate of fire. They have the Mini-Me, which is also a very good squad automatic weapon. They have the AT4, which is still pretty decent. It's still a decent law, and you gotta remember, this goes up, considering you have these guys at veteran. Or at least that's how I have them. You could also scale them back, and in this case you get the FAL and the Fallow? I'm not quite sure, but this is, I'm guessing, the FAL just converted into a squad automatic weapon. Interesting units, though. Then we have a Stinger unit. Just the only anti-aircraft infantry the Netherlands has. I still got to get used to this. Or it has is the Stinger. So yeah. Just the basic Stinger with 50% accuracy. It doesn't make it bad, just as what they've got. They also have the Uzi, which is kind of cool. Next we have the Stutztruppen. And these guys have the FAL, the Carl Gustav M2, and the FN Mag. I'm not quite sure what that is, or I'm just not very familiar with that. It works though, and then we have like I think another M113 with an autocannon on it. It's pretty decent. It works. I've tried it, and it makes short work of enemy vehicles. But it's not as good as like a Bradley or anything of that variety. But it is pretty quick, so all that kind of adds up. And then we have the Stuttruppen 90. And they come in a 4-wheel transport. Oh, that's the wrong guys. Has 80 speed. I'm still kind of learning the stats here as well. Just because, just dropped. But anyways, or at least the DLC just dropped, So yeah, they're pretty good. They have the C7 assault rifle though, so that's pretty nice. It's basically just an M16. It's redesignated. We have an AT4. Once again, the AT4, and then we got the Mini-Me. New unique unit coming though. We have the Verpeleg 95. They once again have an M16. And they also have the Super Dragon. Now you might recognize these from the Light Rifleman 90s. And yeah, they have this, but it has Ichi power. I tried these guys out though, and they missed a lot. I'm not sure why, but they just ended up missing a lot. At least that's what it felt like to me. So it could be that was just bad luck of the draw, or it could be a more unsettling tone that will be set with these guys. Just some other interesting units I didn't bring. You have the Natres, which are, I'm guessing, which are clearly a militia force. They have the FAL with decent accuracy and stuff, and then they have the M72. So, all that. I think these guys are actually much better than Territorials, which are armed with similar weaponry. That kind of is a bit odd, in my opinion. But anyways, let's go to support. First start with some long-range artillery. We have an M109A5, just a paladin. Doesn't have all the stuff on it, though, all the boxes and crates, all that stuff, so you might not recognize it at first. But yeah, good range, you know, M2 Browning, it works. And then we have the Cheetah, but this is just, don't be fooled, this is just a Flak Panzer Gepard, but it's unique in that it has a very high accuracy, but no stabilizer. So I have no clue why that is. That's just what it is with this thing. Really just what it is. So I'm taking 2 of them, with 7, so I have 14 of them. And then, this is the, EOTS Hawk that that Denmark gets. So you have all of these countries combined, which is very interesting. You know, it just adds for a very unique combination. You really aren't lacking for much in this deck. And then you have the M106A1, which is just a standard M113 mortar platform. But you do get some very interesting units, so let's go over some of them now. First, we have the M752 Lance. This is like, I want to say it's like a Scud, you know, or something like that, where you just launch one of these missiles. They're not the greatest, but, you know, they shoot, they have kind of tight dispersion, and they have extremely high HE power for when they hit, so you're looking at doing a lot of damage. I'm not taking them solely because they're very slow, and you only get one of these, and I'm assuming they're extremely supply intensive, so I don't really want to use them for that reason. Other interesting units, the M107 instead of the M110. And so yeah, it's interesting in just how much of a trade-off it is, because you get more range, but less, it's not as tight in the dispersion department. It's also weaker, on the whole. Other interesting unit. This is just, Jeep of some variety, but it's got a mortar stuck in the back. It's not a very good mortar, but it works as a mortar, so that's kind of interesting. And then you have a very similar thing with, this one, with the YP48, where it's got a mortar in back, but it's only got 3 HE power. This one only has 2, so I just went with the best one I could get. Yeah, that basically covers all their unique units there. Tank-wise, we have some awesome tanks. We have the Leopard 2A5. This is not changed at all since the German Leopard 2A5. So no modifications here. However, the Leopard 2A4 has got some upgrades. First off, it looks very different because it has all this like camo webbing and stuff over it, which is kind of neat looking. Kind of don't like the color though, but you know, you get the camo netting and stuff, which is kind of cool. But you have max range. Now, this hasn't changed, but it does have 21 armor penetration gun, which is significant. So this is sort of like a pocket super heavy, like a core band super heavy, I guess you could call it, because it has that very high armor penetration. Same armor penetration, I'll have you know, as the Leclerc, which is very interesting when you consider it from that angle. Then we have the Leopard 2A1. Nothing has changed here, I don't think. Looking at some of the other tanks, this is kind of like a Leopard AS1 Plus, I believe, that the Australians get. Same thing here. Centurion Mark 7 doesn't look that much different. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. I wouldn't recommend this, though, considering you can take the AMX 13 FL15. This thing is actually quite incredible. This is like going to be one of those hidden gems of the Netherlands, I think. It has a 2100 meter range with a kinetic gun. This is different than what the French... this is a French tank, but it's different than the French version of it. The French version is reconnaissance version, and it has a heat gun. This has been replaced with a kinetic gun, which makes it much better. Much better. 50% accuracy, so you're going to be firing with that very quickly, with 13 armor penetration, which isn't bad. I mean, think about the units with like 13 armor penetration. You're looking at like the M1 Abrams, like the base M1 Abrams, and the M60A3, which are both significantly more points than this. You know, so, I mean, and then you get so many of them. You get 24 of these tanks. They make great fire support, they're great at vehicle killing, and they're quite quick with some decent autonomy on them. Their armor isn't great, but they're just interesting. So interesting. I can't praise it highly enough. Moving on though to this. It's kind of interesting units in here. The first one that I have two of these, and it's a Leopard IV Vorkon. I can't even read that. That's so tiny. But yeah, it's a recon tank, and I'm guessing it's sort of going to be like the Chinese stealth tank, or at least kind of what I call it anyways. And it's got 15 armor penetration, very high accuracy, and yeah, I think the Chinese have some real competition coming their way with this tank being in the fight now. Then I brought this for an exceptional optics unit. It's always really nice to have those. What the heck is this thing? What the heck is this thing? Oh my, I'll get back to reviewing the deck and then I'll take a look at those, because that looks just plain flat out weird. Anyways, then we have some KCT, and yeah, they've got the Uzi, Kargustov, and FN Mag. And the interesting thing is that they're a 5-man squad. Now, this doesn't confer any stealth bonuses, it just makes them less effective in combat, which I kind of don't like. But they're only 30 points, and you can use them as great scouts or great behind enemy lines units. And if you pair them with the Corberiners, technically you have 20 guys. You'd have 20 guys, even if they're not necessarily the best. Because these guys would go down really easy, and it'd be hard to kill those guys. But I guess you could say it balances out. This one is kind of interesting. I think the way the autocannon's mounted is kind of cool. Kind of cool looking. What's this? This one, same deal for the mounting, the way it's mounted. This thing, though, I don't even know what to think of this. I can barely see the gun, but it's just, this thing looks so weird. The YP-104, very interesting. Doesn't look so weird. So weird. Then we got our standard, like, exceptional optics unit. There's some very weird stuff in here, I gotta say. Vehicle stab, though, looks a lot more like normal. Seems a lot more normal. We have the AMX Prat, which is just the AMX, of course, with just normal tow missiles. It's very interesting there. We have some M113s with, tow 2s on them. I just went with the Laro tow 2 just because it has 6 ATGMs on it, but they're also only 45 points. Pretty effective units, I must say. I like them, and you could, if you wanted to, you could take some recoilless rifles, Jeeps mounted recoilless rifles to do some more damage there. Helicopters, though, once again, very interesting units. First thing that caught my eye was the AH-64 Escort. This is an Apache. There's a normal AH-64 Apache, and it's got rocket pods and an autocannon. Now, that may not seem good, but I think this is an excellent unit from its, inception, because you get the autocannon that the Apache has, which is exceptional. I mean, you can down helicopters with that thing, and it also has the Hydra rocket pods, so very interesting. And then we also have the AH-64A TD, so the tank destroyer version, and it carries 16 normal Hellfires, fires them off one at a time, and very high armor penetration, 130 points. This is a must-have, and this is just insanity. I mean, the units that you have access to are just insane. And then you also have the BO-105 SNEB, which has just some SNEB rocket pods. I just brought these along as cheap support, sort of, because I didn't really want to get one of these. Both of these are prototype. Aircraft. Not as many interesting units here. I don't think this is a Saber. I actually don't know what this is. But yeah, the first unit I have is the MLU. Now, this isn't the MLU from Denmark. This is basically an F-16 Block 52 through and through. I don't think there's any difference here. But yeah, they've got the AMRAMs, and they've got the AIM-9s. And you can take 2 of them. I think it's just 2 of them at hardened. it's hard because they eliminated the little box up here that helps me out when I'm doing stuff like that. Next we have the F-16A Block 150 CU. This is basically the MLU that the Denmark has, with its Maverick air-to-ground missiles. I use this thing. It's phenomenal. It's a great tank sniper. It's a bit pricey, but, you know, it still works very effectively. And you can keep them back and use them as multi-rolls if you have to by using those air-to-air missiles. Got a couple of normal HE bombers, just some F-16s with not as good ECM or air detection, but they carry 400 or 500 kilogram bombs, which makes them very effective bombers. And then I'm taking 4 F-104Gs. I'm taking these just to go for any helicopters or something, like KA-52s, KA-50s, anything like that. So yeah, this is... I think the Netherlands are going to be an extremely powerful option for any player, whether you're just starting out or whether you're a pro. I really think it's kind of overpowered. I really think it's overpowered. Just looking at the units you get access to, and in the hands of a good player, this is going to be absolutely lethal. So it's a good idea to start learning the units, even if you don't have DLC. Definitely start learning these units. Take a look at them, look at their profiles, look at their, as in, like, look at what they look like, you know, all that. Look at the units they have access to, and know how to counter them. And use the chance to learn every chance you get. I haven't developed a particular playstyle with these guys yet. I think that they have not necessarily a unique playstyle, but they're just extremely powerful. I mean, just an extremely powerful deck option for anyone. I can't just say that enough. I am truly blown away by it. Anyways, you can pick this the DLC up on the Steam store for $6 if you already have the DLC. Then the deck code will be below. Anyways, this is RC0530. I'm signing off. Hope you enjoyed watching this deck review. And yeah, if you have the DLC for yourself, let me know. And leave any of your favorite Netherlands units. Leave them on the bottom. And please, if you know them, leave the pronunciations. I have no clue how to pronounce anything beyond Leopard, Stinger, and some of the numbered units. Because some of these... I don't even know how to say that. I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to say any of this. Anyways, this is RC0538 signing off. Hope you have a good day.